Hey, fam, and welcome to another episode of I'm Telling You
Yeah.
with your host, Mr. Gemini.
Philly D.
And if you guys want to get a hold of us, if you want to write in, clicky click, right? Write to us at I'm Telling You at directionsinmusic.org. That's IMTELLINYOU at directionsinmusic.org. And then maybe you could come and join our conversation, have a beverage with us.
Or maybe even just inspire us, like, if you email it and we read, wow, that is a good idea.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I keep looking for feedback, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about that a bunch of times, is how we're always trying to grow from stuff. I mean, we just try to grow, period. Not even just doing this, just like in general life, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that I want the thought and the words to come out, the free flow of exchange. We don't do small talk. This is not chat. I'm not talking at you. We are talking with each other, right? And we're trying to explore different ideas, whether it's science, whether it's, whatever, really. No holes barred.
I mean, we're willing to accept and question, and we just have those kind of conversations about it. I mean, that's just what we do.
Well, that's just what I do naturally. And this is really like what we say. How do you put bookends on something that continues, like, always? Like, we've always had these kind of conversations. So it's just we're now on the mic.
I know, right? Speaking of things that we always do on the mic, I'm gonna say I think it's about that time.
Oh.
At least for me it is.
Oh, we're gonna. Oh, okay.
I mean, we can. I mean, I'm ready for it. You want to?
Right.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, did I on your foot?
Oh, you got it all over me. Oh, it's in my hair. Oh, it's a joke. I don't have any hair.
Are we gonna?
You want to cheers? Oh yeah.
Salud.
Salud. Oh yes, please. Shing shing. Oh, that's quite delicious. A blackberry saison. Thank you. Oh. So what's going on, man? How you been? I mean, this is I think you're always the one that's like trying to start the conversation, because I think you're like, for once, I'm actually like, hey, what's up with you, bro? What's going on, man?
No, I've been good. I mean, I'm having some of these extended conversations that kind of been brought about by this show, and this is the direction I wanted to take, and I'm loving it. I'd love to see it spread further. I'd love to see it in other people's homes. For it to invade other people's homes.
So what you're referencing is the fact that, like, not only do we have conversations, but now we're having other conversations with people outside of this, because it has stimulated that.
Right.
Whether it's via the show, or the fact of us doing the show makes you want to talk more to other people, or that you're more expressionative. So it's like, a twofold in that kind of thing.
And whether it's just the two of us clowning around, or whether, we're really dealing with some personal stuff, we're just kind of laying it all out there. This is what we do. We don't do small talk.
I think we said a couple times, like, vulnerable. We try to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and try to, when something comes up that it's obvious, it's difficult. Don't automatically shy away from it.
The elephant in the room, I think, is.
Yeah, like, I think we need to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not right here, right now, but it's definitely something that has to be. And I think that's
I guess mentally that's the direction I want to take my own life, that this is, a way for me to force a can opener in that, idea that I've had for so long that I can't communicate well. That, like I said to you, I've been writing in a journal for a couple years now, trying to get my thoughts out. And that's been helping me, and that this, in some way, for me, is an extension of that, of that artistic, creative expression. Nice. I'm really just putting down, like, just whatever oddball thing I happen to be thinking of.
Yeah.
Whether it's spiritual nature, or just personal and emotional, or whatever it is. Like, why is this way? Just pointing to something in reality and just saying, why does it have to be this way? Whatever it is, maybe one day I'll start reading them on air.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it almost, the thing that I was kind of getting from that is, it sounds like you're having a conversation with yourself, in a sense, because then you go back and you reread it, and you reflect on it more. And I think that's a really awesome, positive thing. And that's why I'm like, I feel like what I'm hearing from you the most is that you've been having more conversations and others have been engaging you to have those more conversations. So, us doing that, even for ourselves, is like, it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to bring it all back around because it feels to me like it's something that's, well, I think I've used the term before, timeless, but it's also something that's, if something about the way I express something opens up somebody else's mind to the possibilities of how they could express things that they need to get off their chest, if that's what helps, if hearing something like what in some cases I go through in a way as I hit the mic, that if that could be beneficial and healing for others. But what I want to do really today is to bring it back around and oh, you're gonna love this.
What? So what are you? You're making your faces. You got these. Well, people can't see it. It's radio. I'm
gonna say this word that's gonna set you off. So I mean, I want to preface this.
What, education? Is that
somewhat with an apology? Because of something I want to get off my chest. Something I want to air.
All right. It sounds like you're breaking up with me, bro. Is that what's happening here?
It's funny how you go straight to you. No, it's nothing with you.
It's because it's always about me. You don't know this yet?
No, it's always about me.
Oh, wait. No, I win? I thought it was I win.
Wow.
I win.
Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, I do. I know I just sidetracked you. I button-hooked you. That's what I do.
You totally button-hooked me. I don't.
Well, so, yeah, no, it sounds like you got some serious stuff that you got going on here, man. Like, we're in the tree of trust, bro. This is what we do.
So yeah, this week, actually, in about a week, is my wife and I's anniversary. And I was sitting in my man cave, just kind of thinking, I just really need to there's something I need to write. And it was almost the minute I picked up the pencil that it just started flowing out. And, I've truncated it to the bare minimum necessary to get the point across. And it was something that I wanted to express on air as a dedication to, not only my wife, but maybe wives and husbands and families everywhere.
What I heard is that you are very appreciative of what us doing this has done for you, and you want to actually show that to an extension and specifically to somebody who you care very much for.
Yeah.
I think isn't that that's what we do here? I think that's what we do here.
I would say so.
Right? Dude, I love that. That sounds beautiful.
So if it's okay, I just like to,
You want to go ahead? You want to say a quick, sweet words to her?
Can I stand up in front of class for a minute?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that would be because
I've written a short essay.
Oh, geez, Lord.
And I'd like to read it to the class.
Well, as long as it's not 1,000 words and it's the same word repeated 1,000 times, because that's not an essay.
But well, I mean, I guess without further ado, and
okay, cool. Yeah, no, you came prepared. Oh, I like this. Oh, okay, dude.
Yeah. This is what you got to do if you want to come correct.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, go ahead, bro. Let's hear it.
So, you know what? I'm gonna need.
Oh yeah. No, make sure.
Could we have just a little? Just a little love over here.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, a little clinky clink. All right.
To my friend and brother.
My confidant. Yes.
My better half. I love you too, man. Again, it's about me. Remember, it's
there's nothing wrong with making me laugh, but spilling my beer. That's just.
Oh, that's alcohol abuse.
That's terrible. Yeah, I could get kicked off the mic for that.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I would be if it wasn't your fault that I almost.
So now it's my fault. So now we're gonna make.
Well, it's always about you. You said it yourself.
You said. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, enough clowning around. Go ahead. You.
So I don't know. Was this Kin's Corner or what?
You want to name this segment?
I don't think we need to have a segment yet. But this is something.
It sounds like a one-off. I want to express what this show means to me and what other people around me mean to me because you're learning to communicate better. That's what it sounds like to me. This
is a dedication, and it's although it's very personal to me and the one that I wrote it for. I feel universal. And
because you said right before you were gonna go into it, it's I hope that this encourages or influences or gives somebody else the So yeah, I mean, because that's
I mean,
that
that's what
we
it's
do
all
here, bro?
about. I mean, I'm looking for validation of my humanity.
I validate you, bro.
Well, I love that. I love that. But I don't know. It's just a very human thing. I mean, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a dedication to my wife.
This is a dedication because you.
This is a dedication to my wife for our anniversary.
Okay.
To the woman with the patience to handle me so gracefully, you have won my heart. What follows is my meager attempt to express what you mean to me. We have grown with each other, and I only hope that I have made half the impact on you as you have made on me. You are, as the sun marking the start of a new day, as its rays break the cold darkness of night. You have shone on me in my darkest hours. When I question what purpose there is to life, it is you who can remind me with one look how foolish I really am. If nothing else manifests from my existence, I can die happy, knowing you and our children are the greatest gifts I could ever have. I am only a father because you chose me. I will do my best to honor you, you who found the best in me when I've lost him. You who believe in me, whose faith has supported me. You have made me father. I honor you because you sacrifice so much for everyone else and expect so little in return. You are, in the most spectacular of ways, everything that I am not. That's a compliment. But when it comes to the heart, we are one. I know that even if your patience for me should one day run dry, I can be happy knowing, even apart from each other, that you will forever live in my heart mind. How blessed I am to have every moment I have with you. The things you teach me about being human, even when human is alien to me. These things about you have imprinted on me, like threads woven into the tapestry of my spirit. They are a part of me forever, or like unto an apparition haunting my every bad decision. I can only claim to be man, father, or husband because of the light that is in you, revealing a potential in me. You have always made me aspire to be better tomorrow than I am today. Happy anniversary, Lucky 13. I love you.
That's pretty dope, bro. I like that, man. And I like how when you preface the fact before you got into it about how, you hope it to be like inspiring of sorts. You know what I mean? Like to do something or like pay it forward, like to get it going. And I think that's
Well, it's so often that we don't speak on the things that we make assumptions that other people know about what's inside our own heads, and it's not always easy to invite even the closest people in your life into the darkest recesses of your own mind.
that's true.
So when I work through things, I may be silent, but it doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I don't love you. So this is my way to break the ice. This is my way to say, I love you.
Well, all right then. I accept and validate your expression, good sir. Allow me to be first, and I appreciate you. Oh yeah, man.
Cheers.
Chin, bro. No, dude, that's that's why I was like, you know what? I think I like how you kind of like put it all together of how there's that piece of what we're doing here has kind of been a part of that. So as you're growing, which is helping us grow and makes the show grow, you're also doing it externally in other components in your life, dude. That's dope, man.
Well, and
you've touched yourself.
I mean, I am a poet at heart. you know.
That was another thing I was gonna say.
And
I was
can't
that was
claim
some
what
poetic.
quality my poetry is, but it doesn't matter to me. But
Oh, dude, it's
I
art.
am a poet at heart, and
It's art. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
That was my way to say thank you to somebody that really.
I thought you said it was a way to say I love you. You got to pick one.
Well,
bouncing back and forth over here.
I love you. Thank you. I mean, it speaks for itself. So, but that's anyway.
Well, see, and that's why I like using the phrase "I appreciate you" because to me it kind of like envelops both of that, where it's like I thank you and I also love you, because I'm gonna take it that one where it's like I'm gonna put it together and it's like I appreciate you. You know, when you appreciate things, you love it and you care for it, and you know what I mean. I don't know. I mean, it's just
I like that. I appreciate you. I mean, like I was saying, I see you.
Yeah, I'm thankful for it's being a parent is a thankless job, but I think sometimes being a partner is probably also a thankless job. You know, if you're doing it right, because we always talk about putting your best foot forward always. So even if that means you only got 10%, as long as you give me 100% of that, you know, we good. So if you give me that 10%, then all right, cool.
Yeah. Well, and also realize that there's days when I have to start off the show of life with an apology. Right?
I don't know. I don't live in your house.
I mean, I'm just saying, just for life, for anybody. You know, it's not just me. There's days where you have to hey, I'm going to start off right off the bat and say, I'm starting off with 20% today. That's all I got.
But being honest with yourself, if that's, you know what I mean? Cool, do it. Yeah, man. We talk about that plenty of times about that, where it's like, dude, just always do your best. I think that's a great rule. I wish that was like rule number one, but I think they save it for the last one, because it's like, hey, even if you can't do all this stuff, just do your best, bro. Like, it's okay. You know, they build all that suspense up. I'm like, yeah, and they're just like, Trunkio, my friend.
That was, do your best was number 4 though, wasn't it?
The final one.
Yeah, so that was what kind of wrapped it all up. But it was, we kept tripping over the first one, because it's really the most important, and it sounds simple, but it's the most difficult.
And being impeccable with yourself, to me, has always been honesty.
Now, specifically, how is it worded? It was be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
And then they went on to explain in every aspect.
Yeah, what that actually means.
Right.
Because in order to be impeccable with your word, that means you have to be honest with yourself in what you're stating or thinking or feeling, so that expression is actually true and honest, and not just what's right or wrong, true or honest, but what is the most impeccable, meaning correct or succinct or actually what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's not painting the word picture, it's painting the exact word picture as it is, using the correct words in the correct context at the correct time that's what being impeccable is, and it's always doing it. So how you think to yourself, how you think of others, how you speak to others, how you speak to yourself, how you do for yourself, how you do for all of those things. In order to be impeccable with your word, you have to back it up too. So it's like, my word is my bond.
I think one of the difficult things I was going through, actually just today, I had another long conversation with my cousin, and she was going through her own thing, which kind of took me by surprise. I called her to try and get her to help me out with something, and here it turns out she needed my help. So I was thankful for that, but it lasted quite a long time, and I didn't get anything done today. But that
funny how that can happen sometimes, right?
Yeah. And I wonder how much of our involvement that we had with each other while she was visiting me may have affected that. I don't know, but totally lost my train of thought.
I'm gonna say, did you just come off the wheels there, bro? What happened, man?
I just came flying right off the wheels. But
well, it sounds like you're having a very emotional time at the moment. It's all right, bro. But see, and that's the thing. So I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm also hearing what's really coming from that. And I think this goes back to being impeccable, because you also have to see things for what they really are, not what they're shown or told or the actual raw expression of what it is. I'm hearing that you and other people around you, specifically your family, you all are starting to become a little bit closer and having greater and better conversations, as well as more conversations. You all are communicating. That is beautiful, bro. I am very happy to hear that for you and your people. Good on you.
Yeah. The connection with my cousin had just, it was okay. but there was something that, like I said, I think she had intended originally to stay for 2 days, and she ended up staying for, I think, 4. So, as luck would have it.
It's because you're such a lovely purveyor of givers or giving that you make such a lovely abode. Yeah, you're an appropriate host when you allow others into your home. You really are, man. You're good peoples. That's why I hang out with you and stuff. Well,
I try not to stress about things, but
I don't know. I feel like sometimes that's all you do.
Yeah, well.
And sometimes that's what all of us only do. That's why, guys, you come back to it, man. Do your best always. It means you also can't get down on yourself if you're not doing 100%. You're giving 100% of what you have, that 10%, 15, whatever. You're giving 100% of that. You're giving 100%. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a, an attaboy, attagirl, atto, whatever you who cares, Go get them, Tiger. Do your thing. Love yourself.
So how have you been? Like, we just start this, we're talking all about me, but
wait, no, you hijacked. You were just like, I'm gonna.
Well, that's what I do.
I thought you were seriously gonna break up with me, man. I was a little sad and scared for a moment. I'll be honest.
Oh, was your heart was racing?
Yeah, you're like, I gotta get this off my chest. It's like, oh no, he doesn't like me anymore. He's gonna break up with me now. Oh man.
I've been on the mic with someone else.
I didn't. But there's another recording studio. I'm sorry. I mean, what we've had is great. Honestly, it's more me than you. It's not you at all. Actually, this is how I need my space right now, and I feel it's a good thing.
No, my space is gone, man.
I do no.
It's
is
Facebook,
it really?
Dude.
I thought it was space face. Isn't there like a Google.com in there or something too?
Have another drink. Where's the?
Have another. Oh, sorry, a little Adam Sandler in there. I had to. It's how it happens. And we'll
have another, you lush, right?
Have another, you. My dear, I'm not even gonna do it. I can't right now. But I love how we do that though. Like for real. Like there's so many times where we have like real heartfelt conversations. I mean, dude, you just had like this really beautiful moment, and I got to sit here and be a part of it. So like we had this really nice. Oh yeah, pounded, bro. We had this really nice thing that we got to share, but then here we are like 10 minutes later or something, and it's just like. But
you got to though. I mean, because that's life,
Yeah.
And there's a beauty to all of it. Like you can't. You can't discount one thing. Like, what do I always say? I mean, I don't want to say it this time, but
you can't not think about the negatives,
right?
Oh, I know. I felt it coming. There was a wave of negativity rolling. I felt it.
But it's, I don't know. There comes a point, right, where you're supposed to reach an understanding where it just is, right? Like, for example.
I was going to say, do what it do, baby.
In my past, I've had some pretty serious injuries, right?
Oh, I know. It helps explain a lot.
It certainly does. I mean, a lot of head contusions starting at a very young age.
And you still have a really well-shaped melon, I'll be honest with you.
It's not too bad, It's not too bad, but I got this... nobody can see any of that, but
you got like pug head.
No, it's not. Yeah, I got a pug head.
Wrinkles and the short hair, and
that's only if I push.
Maybe you want to rub your belly there, buddy.
There's a lot of interesting things I think have come from that, and I would never take any of the bad out of my life because it's made me, the most spectacular version of me I could possibly be.
See, and I like that because it reminds me of the idea of regretting. I feel if you're regretting who you are, current situation, you're like, oh, hey, I wish I could go back and do this different or do that different, then that tells me that you don't appreciate where you're at now, which means that there's probably something in your life you need to go back and kind of look at and decide, hey, maybe I should dig a little deeper and try to clarify and just learn from that. The more you go back and find those things that typically haunt you, even though you've stuffed them down so far that you just have like weird dreams about it or something, who knows? But when you truly face them, when you actually put them out in front of you, like now that's all of a sudden where you can kind of like push past that. once you do that, like, I mean, that's being impeccable with yourself, right? You're being honest. Once you can start doing that, that's when it happens. I mean, that's when you have, at least I feel that's how I've seen and done for myself. You have that clear vision of who you are, where you want to be. Like, you start to define your why. You start to work through that stuff, and you can actually see things for what they are. Remove yourself from those patterns and just draw all that positivity or all that stuff that you just want to be. You know, picture the life you want and go after it. You got to see it to believe it, baby.
I mean, I love the idea. I truly do. And it seems like it should work. It just, you know, and it's not that I'm not really trying at it yet, but I think it'll get there.
Well, we've talked about it before. I always like to quote Joe Rogan about the idea where he's like, dude, whatever your thing is, whatever your passion is. So whether that's like building furniture or just having a great, you know, relationship with yourself or your spouse or your children or whatever your thing is, work at it every day, just that little bit. And before you know it, all of a sudden there's all these habits in place, all these resources and platforms, and boom, you're living your dream.
For me, sometimes I'm tying it back in with my cousin because that's just still fresh in my mind right now. But there was some of the issues she was going through with her husband in communication, which is just like everybody knows the story, and that's kind of what I feel. Like I was listening to her today saying, you know, all this stuff you're saying about, you know, your husband makes me wonder, you know, in what kinds of ways I've done my woman wrong, you know. And that's just, I think so much of that is just being a part of what we're trying to do here and trying to break under, you know, this structure that we've created around ourselves to protect ourselves, and just realize that our desire to protect ourselves sometimes goes against us, that it does no good, you know, to ignore whether it's the pain or even the happiness in our lives, you know, to focus on all of it. There's a lot of things I was just recently talking to my dad about the whole thing about pain. That's really interesting is if you try to act like you're distancing yourself from pain, whether it's physical or emotional, that it actually grows stronger. But it's the natural reaction to want to distance yourself from it, right? Fight or flight syndrome. Like, I mean,
right.
When you get to that point where you're emotionally struggling through something, so that even if there's not physical danger to your body is still reacting as if there is. Yeah, and that what that does to you psychologically, that basically disables you. Trying to see through all that with what we're doing, you know, coming in contact with that.
That was a lot right there.
Yeah, seems a bit disjointed for me, but I'll have to listen to it in post. But
yeah, we always do. Well, and I think there's something to that.
There's so many thoughts I'm grabbing onto. I got a wacky train of thought. So,
and I have to agree with you, especially, you know, I mean, there's I'm gonna butcher it. Stomatic marker. I forget what there's these things, you know, gut reactions, as we want to call it. Where, yeah, there's other things outside of what we're doing or who we are that it's just like, you know, whoop, whoop, danger, Will Robertson, danger. And we just pay it no mind. You know, we're so focused on the thing or what it is or, you know, what we want it to be. Or I think that really goes back to like how we want to keep our conversations about just letting it be. It would do what it do, baby. You keep saying that. But I think that's the beauty of it, because it should just be that free flow. It should just be that raw, floodgates open, everybody feels validated, trusted. Like this is the tree of trust.
Yeah, that's where every time I question whether we add structure to something or not, if that might actually dismantle the whole thing. So I'm like, it's kind of the idea is kind of a love-hate thing. Like, well, I like the idea of sticking to some kind of a structure so that we could actually title our episodes, but it really doesgoing matter.
Let's be honest. The only thing that brings this show off the rails is you.
I'm just going to take the mic and I'm going to run with it. And
we've talked about that before. I think not that long ago, where it was I saw that you're now starting to have this greater sense of confidence with the equipment and doing what you're doing, so that you can get out of your own way and we can both have these free flowing conversations. So seeing that actually kind of happen, where you're just like, dude, give me this. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Well, didn't I make the reference with rollerblades? Like, if you want to learn something, you just make it such a normalcy that you just naturally start to forget about it. Your hippocampus is no longer interested. It's just something that's there.
You like set the program.
And the idea of about forgetting about the mic, as if I'm imagining that this is just a means for me to get my voice to you. I forget about anything else that's going on. I basically block it out. So I am getting slightly better at that.
I would say more than slightly. Because I mean,
well, thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Well, because I mean, we've been at this for a while now, and when we first started, with like the test runs, horrible. The secondary test runs, pretty much even worse. When we even tried video for a hot minute, dude, it just things were not. We did find that when it was just us doing our thing, it does, whether it's funny, not funny, it's serious, and we're adding levity. We're trying to be facetious about it. Like, whenever it's just us doing our thing, regardless of what it is.
I really like that feeling, as if there's like a ghost somebody here with a beer, just like really dying to jump into the conversation. And I think you told me a couple people had already referenced that very same thing, that they feel like they're sitting down to a conversation at the dinner table, late night, whatever. That it's, I just want to step up, crack a beer, and sit with you guys and join the conversation.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like there's many a times where the image I have of people that are just checking us out right now, they're like eating freaking pretzels out of a bowl, drinking a beer, having like, a little something on, just.
Which is what I'd be doing right now with the pretzels and the chips and stuff, if it wasn't for the fact that,
trying to have these conversations. Like,
I've been banned from doing such things on the mic.
If it wasn't for the fact that we have to be in a studio and like record for like quality and, all that good stuff and the structure that we do it. Dude, we would be on like my stoop or chilling at your spot. Like we'd be hashing it up just doing this.
Dude, chilling on the stoop?
Well, I got a stoop. It's only a couple steps and it's bricks.
Right.
It's a stoop.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. Oh, sorry.
Easy there, Will Smith. Jeez Louise. But and that's the thing that again, it's just, to me, having that is kind of cool in that sense. Like, I'm appreciative of it, right? So because you allow me to do this.
I allow you.
Well, you do, because you do. Again, man, I begged you for like
the power.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I begged you for like 2 years, like, a guy that's just like, I want to put a ring on a baby. Come on, let's make this thing happen.
Sorry.
Yeah, dude, it's all right. Go ahead, make fun of me. Everyone else does. But so
I'm laughing with you.
I'm not laughing right now.
Well, I'm laughing for you.
That was good. Well, and again, man, we could have these serious moments and we can have this levity. So the fact that we actually just take what we do and just turn the mics on, like, we'd be doing this any regardless. And like,
the idea of putting structure to it is just like, I don't know, it's so ridiculous.
To me, it allowed you to have that moment to express yourself and show what, this show in and of itself has done for you and those around you. And you wanted to express that and show it and, get it out there for else. Inspire. I think that was probably the word or something like that, but in that realm, so.
And I was saying, okay, well, if that kind of thing is something that would interest you, go ahead and write us.
It interests me.
Let me know. So.
Why is it just you, man? This is not.
You can have a really serious conversation,
dude.
And once you start using this voice, it doesn't matter what you say.
That's true. It's like helium voice. Did you like super sarcastic? I'm a know-it-all.
I have like the periodic table, and I just be like rolling on the floor laughing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You be telling me how to make like chocolate cake, and if you do it in either of those voices, you're gonna get me. I agree.
Just thinking about it,
well, to me, it's the silly voice period. I mean, so we have like these serious conversations, and then like we'll interject with voices and stuff, like, or movie quotes or music quotes, because we're trying to add that levity. We're trying to be slightly facetious so that we can keep ourselves grounded. We've talked about that before.
And maybe that lends to some of the idea from the get go of you wanting to push record on some of this stuff, because in a way, like, we kind of push off each other and entertain like just the moment that we're in, like even if no one's listening. So it's,
we're in the now.
Well, that's what I mean. Really,
when will it be
not
now?
trying to create a
Soon.
structure. I mean, what was I saying to you about what interview was it I was watching where it was just it was almost painful to watch because the interviewer, right? The interviewer
right.
would ask a question, and the question obviously was leading down somewhere, and he just, in a very uncomfortable manner, just basically almost cut him off, the guy he was questioning, to ask the next question. And it's like, you kind of got to let it flow a little bit more there, kid. Like there's, you got a bunch of questions, but like if he starts going off, let him go off.
Right. And so then what did you think about how that was going to affect other people? I don't know, Johnny Five. What the heck? Well, yeah, because
Johnny Five had more personality.
Dude, Johnny Five's the dopest robot ever.
And I can't remember the interview, but you remember what I'm referencing.
Yeah, the reference, you're correct, yeah.
That it was almost uncomfortable. The interview itself, the content, wasn't bad, but it was because the guy being interviewed was quick enough to just kind of, fill in the gaps, so to speak, and kind of smooth it over. But
well, yeah, because I remember the extension of that I added was.
Gotta put this thing on.
Was the whole Joe
Rogan? My hat, sorry.
Was the whole Joe Rogan thing where when he goes to have like a conversation, there might be a general idea, gist, area, kind of way to be. Hey, in case there's a conversation lull, I have things to kind of bring up. Doesn't mean that he actually has to do it. So that's what you're saying. It's like, yeah, so you got 30 questions. Doesn't mean you got to ask them all. Maybe if you do a decent job, the other person is going to do more talking. I mean, this is a sales approach.
Well, but I would think there's a fine line somewhere. Like, okay, if he's going to expand on something, let him go for a minute, and then kind of try to corral him back in, and then ask your next question. It just felt very contrived. It felt very forced, and that's why I was like, it was kind of uncomfortable to watch. Aside from the fact that the interviewee was handling it very well.
Well, yeah. Well, so being, because I was saying it's a sales approach where you try to get that other person talking more. I mean, we talked about with like Jordan Peterson, where it's like, if you're actually having a real conversation, you're actually trying to help the other person make that, argument or statement. So yeah, I mean, dude, you get that guy where he's just like, robot, dot, 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 dot. And yeah, if you get a good interviewee, then all of a sudden they just kind of like, and then what would happen? Let's keep this ball rolling, bro. Yeah, that guy was a severe train wreck. Because I remember the thing that I always said about it was, especially when you get into that kind of scenario, is you're presenting, so you have to make sure that you're kind of putting it out there. You have to make sure that it's a give and take. Because even when you're presenting even if it's a one-sided speech, you still have to draw the audience. You got to take the energy from it.
I say it was painful to watch, and it's painful because I'm putting myself in the shoes of the poor kid that's trying to give the interview. And it's obvious that he just, like hearing us the first couple of recordings we did, like it doesn't come natural, that like you kind of have a tendency to get blinders and just look at the sheet that you wrote, which means if you didn't write it really well or succinct, you'll end up with that.
So it's like when people do PowerPoint presentations and they just like read the bullet points. And then Thomas Jefferson, and it's just like, dude, bro, no, dude, I can read. I can read. Dude, I don't need you to do no, yeah. When you do that's why I call it a presentation, because it's that same regard, because you're now putting forward, you're talking, you're doing. Even if you're on the question side, if you're the interviewer or the interviewee.
Well, the fact that you're presenting, like, I mean, what do you do when you have to present something? You're going to practice it to the point where it becomes second nature, to the point where you get so comfortable with it that you can kind of add your own little zest to it, right? I mean,
as you should.
Right.
Well, that's why I always say the biggest thing in doing a presentation, no matter what it is, whether it's like you're meeting, your significant other's parents for the first time, you're doing a job interview, you're meeting somebody at a freaking bus stop, like, dude, you're always presenting. To me, the big thing is just know your material. So whether you're talking about yourself or some information of like you're doing for work or. Dude,
See, but that first one's the hardest one, right?
Well, but
Because
no,
what were you saying about who's that guy you like to follow? But I mean, you know all these stats, right? That was the one.
Oh yeah, Dr. E.T.
You know all these stats about all these athletes, but what are your stats?
Yeah, what are your stats?
You know, could you hold a conversation that's of a personal nature? I mean, it doesn't have to be. You know, it doesn't have to be breaking all your deepest, darkest secrets. It's just can you have a personal conversation without feeling the need to boost up? I mean, if you're into sports, that's fine. But like, I think what I was referring to is the people that I've seen where it's obvious that there's a struggle for them, that they feel they have to spend so many hours absorbing material that they could then regurgitate to their acquaintances, you know, at the bar or at a business meeting or whatever it is, that it was like they had to gain this knowledge, that something that they could, you know, like almost like this one-upmanship, that they could know something and maybe that somebody else doesn't. Be one step ahead and impress everybody with, you know, but is there really truly a love for that? You know, if there is, that's fine. But like, I don't see it. This is our sports talk, right? I love that.
I was just going to say that. So while you're sitting there talking about that, it's like, well, but if that's how they get the conversation going and it gets them talking, then isn't that the thing?
I guess. But I mean, how much surface do you have to talk before you?
It doesn't matter.
Because for me, it's like, and this is an extension of my own life. Like, I can do it, but I can't stand small talk. It drives me batty.
Well, but so to a certain individual, that's not going to be small talk. That's going to actually mean something to them. So, I mean, you have to take it from that perspective.
Well, and that's the thing. But like when it feels like this is the thing that we do because this is what we do. This is what society tells us that we're like. It's when people can just be comfortable being themselves.
See, you're talking about like the mundane, going through the motions. I'm like 1980.
I'm not talking. I mean, like it's one thing to be polite.
No, yeah, I feel like 1984, where it's like everybody follow suit. We are all robots. La la la. Yeah, no. So you when you get into that component, because you even said it yourself, like, you know, hey, if that's the thing that they love, if that's the yeah. I mean, because that's how you get like sportscasters and stuff like that, where they just like start running off the encyclopedia information of like, and so and blah blah blah, dude, because they love
And I'm not really and I don't know. I hope it comes across. I'm not really judging that because I know there's a lot of people that are really into their sports, but
it felt judgy.
You know, I'll just be honest. It felt really judgy, and I was sitting over there, and I was telling my best friend, I was like, that was really judgy, and I feel weird. I want to go.
No, I felt judgy for saying it was judgy, so I know it was judgy because it made me feel that way. Like, wait, what? What is going on here now? Like, who's really projecting in this situation?
And now I am scratching my head.
Well, that's what happens when you hang out with us.
Yeah.
We put ourselves into our own quandaries with our own tangents. But sometimes we actually find the answers. Or do we?
I mean, you know, even a broken clock, right? I mean...
Yeah, broken clock is right 2 times. Unless you're using like European or military times.
Unless it's just digital, you're really just screwed.
Yeah,
because it's never 8888.
Oh, I get that now. Dad joke. Nice. I get that. I'll tell you what, dude. I saw a really cool thing where it was this clock that it looked like a plastic structure that was almost a skyscraper leaned back with a bunch of punch outs on the front of it, and there was obviously some like internal, you know, sculpting in there so that as the sun shines through, depending on its position, it would tell you what time it was.
What?
It was a manual clock that gave you like a digital readout. I was like, dude, if this thing's for real, that's pretty dope.
What?
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 inches tall. It looked like a skyscraper in
like sundial meets clock kind of.
That's what. Yeah, I was like, it's a manual clock that reads out digital, and it takes the sunlight and its position.
Wow.
Which I'm like, so does that depend on what region you're in? Does it matter what coast you're on?
I'm really excited. I just haven't seen this. I didn't know it exists.
I just saw it the other day. It was kind of cool. It blew my mind. I was like, what?
Was it like totally blown? Like,
I follow, because we talk a lot about, and so me personally, I get into Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, he's dope. I mean,
You've been on that kick for a while now, yeah.
Well, you kind of turned me on to him a little bit.
Oh, it's my fault. It's always my
Yeah,
fault.
well, you were blaming me. Now
It's always my fault, and it's always all about you. So this is how it stands. This is where we are. Okay.
I thought we were in the tree of trust.
I don't know, but it's my fault.
Am I not allowed to express
And if
myself?
we fall from the tree of trust and we hit every
you
branch.
fell from the tree of trust a couple times.
Ooh.
We already talked about that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now. Hi, I'm Tom. But yeah, so I've been.
See what he did there?
Yeah, I brought it back around again. Hey-o. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with him and like following him and get into that like.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse.
And that's where I saw this leaned back, half moon shaped skyscraper. And I say skyscraper because it had like punches popped out of it that look almost
like
as if it was like a window. Yeah. So it had that square rectangular stretched look. Because again, it was, if you took a skyscraper, stood it straight up in this like rudimentary 3-dimensional plastic model and just leaned it back, like you melted the plastic and just kind of stretched it.
But I guess that's what they had to do to get the light to.
I guess, I don't know. That's what I was like. I'm pretty sure there's like internal workings where there's different webbing or sculpted, so plastic.
You should post
printed.
That. I think you should post that.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I'll put it back out. It was dope. It was a manual clock that read digitally. And it just looked like, this skyscraper was just like leaning back like, whoa.
What's up, man?
I got the... And it just read digital clock.
This is what would happen in Chicago if I was made of rubber.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that was a terrible dad joke. Sorry.
I don't even know if we can... That was like grandfather joke.
Ouch.
Well, that's what,
Ouch.
it's...
Well, that is my next step, I guess, eventually.
Well, hopefully not for a while. Who knows?
Well, no, but I mean, if I'm lucky, right, I'll get to see that.
Dude, you know what? Yeah. Well, you even said it yourself. Just the fact that you got to have, dope-ass relationships, to have this, like, really cool family, to be a part of that makes you a special person. I say the same thing about my kid and stuff, the way I do things. Dude, just being a part of that, to have that in my life, to have known that it existed, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think it was my dad telling me, and I can't remember what age he first started talking to me about stuff like this, but I still remember, him telling me one day, he was like, I got into this relationship thinking I was going to be teaching you. He's like, it turns out I learned more from you raising you than I could ever teach you.
I feel that hard. I really do.
That there's, yeah.
I say it all the time. I look up to my kid because it's why I want to be the person that I am and why I push to be even better. If not, I'd just be that dude sitting on the couch, like chilling, just making it through life. Because, what would be the point? It's like, I'm going to be here and enjoy it. Dude, being a part of this kind of a structure, having this kind of inspiration, love, respect, reciprocation on that level, dude, life is so much more dope doing that.
Well, like you said, you put honesty first.
I do now because of her.
So
for real.
People could say, I guess, what they will about that, but it seems to be working out all right, because every time I've seen your daughter, she's something special. And I don't know. I mean, that's just what I see. How do you put words to that? There's no greed or expectation, or she seems just chill.
I like to think she's very impeccable for who she is.
But she's very much got that she's got that artful spirit. She's got that curiosity for the world.
We validate, appreciate, support, and really push to make sure that you have true self-expression in whatever form you want to do it. I don't care what your art is. I want you to tell me how you feel. Show it. Do it.
Right.
Yeah, we support that. We celebrate it here. Like, we literally celebrate it here.
Express yourself.
Damn right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. So, I mean, that...
You got to walk the walk, man.
So while we sit here and have this conversation...
And that's a good point. That's a really good point, because there's times, right, where, especially if you're trying to follow number one, right? Be honest, be impeccable with your word.
Oh,
and
number 1 4 agreements.
That goes for anyone outward, but that also goes for yourself.
Well, it starts internally, because that's the only way you can do it externally.
Yeah. And
You have to love yourself before you can love others. You have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with others. And
and to be able to turn to your kid and say, hey, these are my foibles. I want you to understand. My foibles.
Foibles.
For me, I like to say idiosyncrasies.
Infamous.
Idiosyncrasies, my weird, your
nuances.
Whatever. Is that a good word for it? Nuances?
Wait, your little things. Your quirks.
My quirks. That's a very good, my quirky.
You are quirky.
Eccentricity.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Eclectic.
Well, there's some eclectic eccentricity. Yes, definitely.
Connectitude.
And now we're just gonna start getting it. Was that
what's it?
What was that guy in Living Color, where he was like, it was always like,
it's a conspiracy. Conspiracy. Yeah, that guy.
But the guy that would rhyme, any word was shown at the.
It wasn't that.
I'm trying to think. What was the?
I'm trying to remember his name. There was not. It was one of the Davids. There was two Davids. It was one of the Davids, I think. That was like one of his characters. That was like one of his things that he did. Yeah.
The information of the situation.
No. That was Keenan.
Is to find an exemplaration of the, and he would just make up whatever words, whatever would come to mind.
I think he was playing that over exaggerating. What do you want to call it? Like freedom fighter type dude, because he had the total garb on with the hat and the robe and everything.
Yeah, no names being used here, but that's exactly.
He's like using a book and he's preaching he's putting all the rhetoric out.
Almost
there.
Like Malcolm X-ish.
Very much.
Very preachy, very
soapbox kind of.
That's what I think of though.
That was Keenan did that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. That was my best. Would you say Keenan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Keenan who did
Keenan,
it.
all right.
Keenan Ivory, yeah. Which I'm not sure he's the oldest. I think that maybe he is the oldest, and then the sister was like the second old. I forget. There's a bunch of them Waynes, man. There's like 19 of them, I think.
Wait, Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey was on that show, yeah.
Say, back around again. I love me some Jim Carrey. I just posted some stuff on the Facebook thing for that.
On the Facebook
thingy. Facebooks.
I was like, isn't this the MySpace Facebook place?
Facebook.
Where's Tom? Is he my friend?
My face.
My face. My face on your space in a book that I can tweet about. Yay!
I'm just gonna fall on the floor instead.
That's why you're supposed to have the armrest down. That keeps you locked in. It's like a wheelchair. It keeps you strapped because your legs don't function right now.
I gotta get one of those for my kid. She always likes to stand up when we're eating dinner. It drives me bonkers.
Why does that drive you bonkers?
It just does. Like she'll just wander around and just stand up.
She sounds like she has a lot of spirit and energy. You should
She certainly
that.
does.
Yeah.
And
love her and appreciate her.
God bless her. I see so much of myself.
Oh, that's not good.
They could, but gotta love it.
You don't have to, but it sounds like you actually do and appreciate it. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's mini me, right?
Dude, the size of you I don't see how any of them could be mini. They're still young. They're growing. Don't worry. They get bigger.
Yeah, that one's not as mini. She's
starting to stretch.
Yeah, she's growing fast. She's in the weeds.
That string bean thing going on.
Oh, it's fun to watch. It certainly is. The whole. But yeah, she's up to my chest level already. The older one. So she's growing fast.
You got the attitude too.
And
she's a little sassy.
I remember hearing my dad, mostly my dad, talk about that growing up. That it's amazing how fast time flies.
Yo.
Like I feel like so goofy even saying it, but like
Bro, trust me, I get it, because mine's like twice yours age, basically. So yours are like still in the middle of it, like, life is great and I'm a kid and I play with things. Mine's like, I'm going to college, I need a car. Where's my money, Dad? It's just like, yeah, let's
but that's fun too, though, because that's when you actually start having really interesting conversations, because I know that's when that happened with me and my dad. And
watching her become an actual person has been a beautiful journey, and I am grateful for every moment. Yeah.
It's those conversations that help shape me, and probably why it's such a driving force for me is the conversation, just bringing back the actual, just me, and because every time I get on the phone with my dad, it's like 3+ hours.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not just him that does it.
I know it's not just him, but if anybody out there has this kind of relationship with your dad or your cousin or your whoever, that you get to that point where you really want to get the conversation over, and then they bring up something, and then you're kicking yourself because you actually spin off of that something, and you allow them like another 10 minutes, and you're like, no, what did I just do? But you can't be rude. You're like, I gotta go. I got it. Seriously, the kitchen's on fire. I got 2 children out of my arms. I gotta run out of the house. Dad, I gotta go. I love you.
I feel like that's everybody's neighbor. Like, everybody's had that neighbor. It's not so much like guaranteed to be in your family, but somehow, you had that neighbor, or like that mail carrier or something.
A perfectly nice guy, girl, lady, whoever.
Human.
Perfectly nice person. But, you get stuck in these conversations. And yes, it is. I am not shunting any blame here whatsoever.
Sure, certainly sounds like it.
I'm not shirking any blame, whatever.
You're just making up words now?
I can do that.
Poetic license.
Guess what? That's what happens, guys, when you're on this side of the mic.
Wow, that was like some power trip Napoleon stuff. Dude, you hijacked the mic earlier, so granted you showed your your family love and all that good stuff. All right, cool. So there was positivity behind it. But now all of a sudden it's about you, and you're just gonna shirker or shirker, or I don't even know what you said. You're
showing
just
love,
making up words because you can.
Showing love, I guess. Showing respect, because what's that? No man is an island. That's what it is. No man is an island.
I don't know. It depends on how big they are.
Or
are they on a blow up island? Like in a pool?
It's a crazy thing, life, because you have to go through it. It's a very solemn thing. We've had that conversation before, because you have to go through it within your own head.
Yeah, you were just pointing at your head.
But no man is an island, and that's what the beginning of this was. That it was respect to someone that completes me.
I'm kind of upset that it's not me right now. Yeah, I had to do it.
I love you, man.
Dude, I love you, man. Well,
anyway.
Honestly, unfortunately, it is that time.
I love you guys too, man.
Oh, I know, dude, right? And we love you so much. We want to hear from you. So if you can, please, we did the clickety, click, click, click. We need one of those microphones for the click, 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 click. What, I don't know.
I'm telling you at directionsofmusic.org.
Oh, right? Wow. You're just hijacking the mic.
I just
all
took
over
that
the
away.
place.
Yeah, I'm telling you at directionsofmusic.org. I am TELLINYOU at directionsofmusic.org. If you want to get a hold of us.
Yeah, email us.
Join the conversation.
Yeah, inspire it. Tell us how we've inspired you.
Be goofy and hit us up with something that's affected you in life, whatever, and something you want to bring to the conversation, whether it's silly, sciencey, philosophical, psychological.
Or you can even tell us that you don't like us.
Aliens, whatever. I don't.
All right, bro. Yeah. So again, email us, hit us up. Mr. Gemini.
Mr. Gemini and Mr. Chef Philly D.
Chef Philly D.
I keep shortening. I want to call you Philly D, and then I realize, it's like, well.
Well, I mean, if I'm cooking, it's the chef, but sometimes.
But that's the
poetic license. I can do what I want here, because this is I'm telling you, and this is what we do.
Well, it's been a good one.
It's always a good one.
It's always a good one.
Yeah. All right, fam. Well, be good to yourself. Be good to everybody else. We love you. Peace.
Peace.